In July of this year, using social engineering, a hacker broke into the Twitter accounts of several high-profile people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Barack Obama, and Kim Kardashian. Millions of people were exposed to the tweets, and unfortunately, within minutes of the tweets being sent out, $110,000 worth of Bitcoin was transferred to the scammer's account. Within 2 weeks, 3 people were arrested in connection to the hack. Well, why would anyone send money to these tweets promising to double your Bitcoin? One aspect is definitely greed, but the other aspect is trust. You wouldn't send your Bitcoin to just anyone. You want to send it to someone you know. This Bitcoin scam is one of the oldest in the book, but it works because some people really believe the scammer is the person they're pretending to be. So what can blockchain do to help actually increase trust and stop these scams in the first place? What technology can help increase trust in the blockchain system by actually getting rid of the idea of trust altogether? Maybe a company called TrustSwap has the answer. TrustSwap is an ERC20 token that wants to revolutionize how financial transactions are made in the real world. They want to cut out the middlemen, law firms and banks, and they want to reduce fees and make it easy enough so that anyone can do so using blockchain technology. They even want regular investors like you to make some money with TrustSwap swap tokens by staking. But before we explain TrustSwap further, we need to understand the fundamentals of trust when it comes to financial transactions and how blockchain is involved as a whole. Imagine this, you write a check to your friend for $100, payback for those Coachella tickets. Your friend goes to deposit that check at a bank and he gets your $100. The intermediary that you both trust in this case is the bank. Blockchain is no different. You send $100 worth of Bitcoin, the BTC goes through the Bitcoin consensus algorithm and it's delivered to your friend. In both cases, with the bank and Bitcoin, you trust that the system will deliver funds to your friend. But what about in other situations where you need trust? Things like buying a house, setting up companies, making big investments, or even wills in case you pass away. To execute these things, you'll need old ways of doing things like escrow and lawyers. It's people-controlled institutions that monitor certain events and enforce pieces of papers called contracts. So how can blockchain technology help us move away from the old way of doing things and get rid of these middlemen? By using smart contracts that execute under certain conditions based on an event or time. In its simplest form, a smart contract is a basic computer that lives on the blockchain. It monitors the blockchain for an event, or it executes its function based on a future date. You can either think of a smart contract like a simple candy machine. You put some money in and the machine automatically spits out a gumball, or like a microwave. You punch in a time and a few minutes later, your spicy burrito is ready. A smart contract executes based on an event or time. How can this help with real-world scenarios? Well, let's see. In 2017, ICO scams were rampant. For those that don't know, ICO stands for Initial Coin Offering, and they're similar to initial public offerings with stocks. However, ICOs don't have the same level of scrutiny or standards that IPOs have by the SEC, at least not yet. With a typical ICO scam, they do a pump and dump, where people are sucked into buying a useless token that in an instant loses value in the first week of the token being released. There are even legitimate ICOs where the token creators sold a huge portion of the tokens ahead of the public sale, and those initial investors dumped the tokens on unsuspecting public buyers. So what can the blockchain do? The creators of TrustSwap want to mitigate the risk of ICOs by allowing token creators to use a smart launch contract. Let's say a token issuer wants to sell 20% of the token pool ahead of the public sale. The issuer wants to make sure the initial investors don't sell all their tokens as soon as the project goes public, so the smart launch contract releases the tokens to the initial investors on a regular basis. At regular set intervals, it can be something like every 3 months. It's all done through trustless open source smart contracts running on the blockchain. This satisfies both parties, as initial buyers are guaranteed their tokens will be released over time, and public buyers are guaranteed that the token won't get dumped on. Token locks can also apply to project team members to make sure they don't go dumping their tokens on public release. Lastly, Smart Launch will also empower the investor with event-based payments, meaning if a team fails to deliver project milestones, investors get their money back. Another important factor about using smart contracts with TrustSwap is fees. Let's say you're doing a $100,000 token sale to an investor, going through the middlemen will cost you an extra 5 to 10%. But with TrustSwap, you only need to pay 1% or about $1,000. That's a huge amount of savings over time on fees. So what are some other ways you can use TrustSwap? TrustSwap allows an escrow model to be implemented with Smart Lock. This means you can load up a contract with any Ethereum-based token and set automatic payouts for specific times. If you have a company running on cryptocurrency, employees or contractors can be paid automatically every 2 weeks. If you like paying your bills on time, you can use TrustSwap's Smart Subscription. Pay your bills or all of those stream services you're subscribing to easily. It can even be for future dates, like sending a loved one a gift for their birthday. Or if you're like me, instead of sending yourself those sad birthday cupcakes every year, send yourself tokens instead. If you acquire swap tokens, you can also utilize them in the following 3 ways. You get a 50% discount on all TrustSwap services, so if you have a $100,000 TrustSwap smart contract, instead of the regular 1%, you only pay 0.5% or just $500. You get dividends from staking, and you get a vote on how foundation funds are spent. The financial service industry is huge, about $26 trillion. And in regards to blockchain technology, decentralized finance itself has grown 500% from 2018. As of July 2020, nearly 10.5 million ETH have been invested into what they call DeFi protocols. That's almost 1 out of every 11 ETH out there, and TrustSwap predicts to capture 80% of that $3 billion DeFi market, meaning if you're staking swap tokens, you'll be riding high with consistent dividend payouts. TrustSwap promises to make it faster and easier to interact with financial transactions over the blockchain, and taking out the middleman is definitely the future of finance, no matter how you cut it. Subscribe for more videos and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It'll help us out a ton. Remember, secure your crypto, hodl, and may Satoshi and Vitalik be with you always.